All actual life is encounter. The relation to the you is unmediated. Nothing conceptual intervenes between I and you, no prior knowledge and no imagination, and memory itself is changed as it plunges from particularity into wholeness. No purpose intervenes between I and you, no greed and no anticipation, and longing itself is changed as it plunges from the dream into appearance. Every means is an obstacle. Only where all means have disintegrated do encounters occur. Before the immediacy of the relationship, everything mediate becomes negligible. It is also trifling whether my you is the it of the other I's, object of general experience, or can only become that as a result of my essential deed. For the real boundary, albeit one that floats and fluctuates, runs not between experience and non-experience, nor between the given and the not given, nor between the world of being and the world of value, but across all regions between you and it, between presence and object. The present, not that which is like a point and merely designates whatever our thoughts may posit as the end of elapsed time, the fiction of the fixed lapse, but the actual and fulfilled present, exists only insofar as presentness, encounter and relation exist. Only as the you becomes present does presence come into being. The I of the basic word I-it, the I that is not bodily confronted by a you, but surrounded by a multitude of contents, has only a past and no present. In other words, insofar as a human being makes do with the things that they experience and use, they live in the past, and our moment has no presence. But we then have nothing but objects. Objects consist in having been. Presence is not what is evanescent and passes, but what confronts us, as this tree confronts me now, waiting and enduring. And the object is not duration, but standing still, ceasing, breaking off, becoming rigid, standing out, the lack of relation, the lack of presence. What is essential is lived in the present, objects in the past. This essential twofoldness cannot be overcome, says Buber, by invoking a world of ideas as a third element that might transcend this opposition. For I speak only of the actual human being, of you and me, of our life and our world, not of any I in itself and not of any being in itself. But for an actual human being, the real boundary also runs across the world of ideas. To be sure, some humans who in the world of things make do with experiencing and using have constructed for themselves, for ourselves, an idea annex or superstructure in which we find refuge and reassurance in the face of intimations of nothingness. At the threshold we take off the clothes of the ugly weekday, shroud ourselves in clean garments and feel restored as we, contemplate primal being or what ought to be, something in which our life has no share. It may also make us feel good to proclaim it. I know it makes me feel good to proclaim my, annex. But the it humanity that some imagine, postulate and advertise has of course nothing in common with the bodily humanity which, we can say truly you, the noblest fiction, in a way is a fetish. The most sublime fictitious sentiment is a vice. Ideas are just as little enthroned above our heads as they reside inside them. They walk among us and step up to us. Pitiful are we who leave the basic word unspoken, but wretched are we who instead of that address the ideas with a concept or a slogan as if that were their name. That direct relationships involve some action on what confronts us becomes clear in one of three examples, says Buber. The essential deed of art determines the process whereby the form becomes a work. That which confronts me is fulfilled through the encounter through which it enters into the world of things in order to remain incessantly effective, incessantly it, but also infinitely able to become again a you, enchanting, inspiring. It becomes incarnate out of the flood of spaceless and timeless presence that rises to the shore of continued existence. Less clear is the element of action in the relation to a human you. The essential act that here establishes directness is usually understood as a feeling and thus misunderstood. Feelings accompany the metaphysical and metapsychical fact of love, but they do not constitute it. And the feelings that accompany it can be very different. Jesus' feelings for the possessed man is different from his feelings for the beloved disciple, but the love, we could say, is one and the same. Feelings one has, love, we could say, occurs. Feelings dwell in us, but we dwell, if we're lucky, in love. This is no metaphor, but actuality. Love does not cling to an I as if the you were merely its content or object. It is, again, between the I and the you. Whoever does not know this with their being, does not know love, says Buber, even if they should ascribe to it the feelings that they live through, experience, enjoy, and express. Love is a cosmic force for those who stand in it and behold in it. We emerge from our entanglement in busyness and the good and the evil, the clever and the foolish, the beautiful and the ugly. One after another becomes actual and a you for us that is liberated, emerging into a unique confrontation. Exclusiveness comes into being miraculously again and again. Now we can act, help, heal, educate, raise, redeem. Love is responsibility, says Buber, of an I for a you. In this consists what cannot consist in any feelings, the equality of all lovers, from the smallest to the greatest, and from the blissfully secure whose life is circumscribed by the life of one beloved creature, to them that is nailed their life long to the cross of the world, capable of what is immense and bold enough to risk it, to love. Let the meaning of action in the third example, that of the creature and its contemplation, remain mysterious, he says. Let us attempt to believe in the simple magic of life, in service, in the universe, and it might dawn on us what this waiting, peering, stretching of the neck of the creature means. Every word must falsify, but let us also continue to look at these beings who live with us, and no matter which ones we approach, writes Buber, we always reach being.